Hi friends, Shayla here. So let's talk about my reading plans for the month of November. So in the month of November, the biggest thing happening is the Love in the Night readathon that I am hosting with 5 amazing people. My announcement video will be linked in the cards and down below. If you're interested in more specific details, this will be running November 8th through the 14th. This is all centered around paranormal romances. So let's go through my TBR for that first, and then we'll get to everything else I hope to get read in the month of November. So the first prompt is a shifter novel, and for that I'm going to be reading Where Geeks Save Wisconsin. I got this ebook thanks to Laura over at Laura's Library Card. She gifted me a Amazon gift card to pick up some paranormals for the readathon. So this is one of the ones that I end up picking up. It just looks quirky and silly and like a lot of fun, so I'm really excited to dive into that one. The next one we're gonna do is different style, which can be either like a different format or a different kind of paranormal that you've not ever read. And so I decided to start a new series, and that is the Guild Hunter series by Neilani Singh. So this is Angel's Blood, book 1, and again, I bought this with Laura's generous gift card. And so I don't know too much about this. I've blitzed through the entire Side Changeling series, so I trust Neilani Singh's writing, so I'm really looking forward to the Guild Hunter series. I know a lot of people prefer this over the Side Changeling, so I'm going to be really interested to see where I fall with this one. The next one is an author of color. I asked people to specifically center on Black authors, but any author of color works for this. For this, I'm going to be reading Taming the Huntress. This one's by Talia Hibbert. It's a little novella. I'm very excited to be getting to this. I've heard pretty good things about it, so I'm really looking forward to it. Next up on the prompt list is a sequel, and that is going to be Season of the Wolf by Maria Vale. I've been buddy reading this series with Lindsay over at Lindsay Tutt. This will just be the one that we're buddy reading that week, so I've already got it all blocked out and ready to go. And yes, I'm really excited to get to this that week. And the next is Read a Vampire Book. And with that, I will be continuing on in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So the book for that prompt should be The King by J.R. Ward. It's a hefty one, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing on with the series for sure. And then the next one is the group book, which of course I'm going to be reading, and that is Barista and the Bear. This is a bear shifter novella. It's like 117 pages long, so it should be quick and easy for people to get into. Next up is a host favorite. So for this one, I chose Izzy over at Happy for Now's favorites, and that is the Immortals After Dark series. I have not started this series yet, so I have a hunger like no other. I'm really looking forward to starting this very popular paranormal series and to see what it's all about, because I've heard amazing things. The next on the list is an LGBTQIAP+ book. It didn't fit in the little square, so it just says LGBT+, but for that one, I will be finally reading Lover at Last by J.R. Ward. This is book 11 in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, so I will be reading this before I read The King, even though the prompt came first. I'm not going to be reading them in prompt order. I'm just going to be reading them in the order that I need to. And this is Quinn and Blaze book that's been hinted at for forever, and I'm in the middle of book 10 right now, so I should definitely have this done in time for the readathon, or have that done in time for the readathon. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And it's going to be interesting to see how she approaches this particular LGBT relationship. And then last but not least is a booktube darling for the prompts. I mean, there's some action prompts in there too, but for the actual TBR portion. And for that, I'm going to be starting another series because I have no self-control. And so for that one, I'm going to be doing Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning, which is the first book in the Fever series. I've heard most people love the first like 6 books in the series, and then it's hit or miss after that. So I'm interested to at least sample the series and see what people think about it and get my own opinion on it, because I don't remember too many of the details. This one was really big when I first got into BookTube, but I never picked up a copy, and then I've been hearing people talk about it again, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up and give it a try. So that is my paranormal romance or my Love in the Night readathon TBR. If for some reason I finish all 9 of those things, I do have a couple of Harlequin Nocturne bind-ups that I've got sent through my Bubbles and Books box that I haven't gotten to yet. So we have Visionary Wolf and Cold Wolf, and then This Strange Witchery and Tamed by the She-Wolf. I read these so wicked fast that I might be able to squeeze them in anyway, and that's what I'm hoping to do because I am focusing on my physical TBR a lot this month. Upon the filming of this video, here are the arcs that I am hoping to get to. in the month of November, hopefully before the readathon starts, because most of them come out November 10th. So we have The Cowboy's Targeted Bride by Carla Cassidy. Sorry, I've got my list here, so I'm just glancing over there. The Camelot Betrayal by Kirsten White. Forever With You by Barb Curtis. A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem by Manda Collins. The Truth About Dukes by Grace Burrows. Claiming the Rancher's Heir by Maisie Yates. Fatal Deception by April Hunt. A Duchess a Day by Charis Michaels, I think is how you say that name. Those are the ones that all come out in November, so I'm hoping to get to all of them. Like I say, upon the filming of this, those are the ones that I have left. Some of them might be read by the time you see my next wrap-up. I'm not 100% sure where I do weekly wrap-ups. It's kind of hit or miss that way. There's those. And then let's get to the physical books that I'm hoping to get read this month. But of course, I will be reading Rhythm of War when it comes out mid-November. I'm hoping to get my reread done in time to get it done in the month of November. I do have a few Harlequins that I'd like to get to. I've had a stack on my shelf for a while, so I'm hoping to get to a few of these this month. So the ones that I picked out are A Winning Season by Rochelle Allers. I've read some Rochelle Allers, but not much, so I was really interested in this one. The Forbidden Cabrera Brother by Kathy Williams. This is a Harlequin Presents. I haven't read any Harlequin Presents or any of the special editions yet. So I wanted to explore these catalogs a little bit, and so I found some that sounded interesting. And then we have the Greek Penniless Cinderella, which again looks really fun. And then last but not least for the Harlequins, we've got Billionaire's Wife on Paper by Melanie Milburn. This sounds like a, marriage of convenience trope, which just sounds amazing. All right, some of these will be repeats from October that I haven't been able to get to because I got distracted with other shiny things, but let's go ahead and dive in. I ended up focusing a lot on audiobooks this last month just because I had lots of headaches, so it was easier to listen to an audiobook than to read one. So I've got The Raycast by Scarlett Peckham, sorry. I've heard amazing things about from people who have read it, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then we've got Her Night with the Duke by Diana Quincy. It's an age gap, y'all, where it's an older woman, younger man. I just need to read this. I love me an age gap. And then I have The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, first book in the Bridgerton series. I need to know what everybody's talking about, so I at least want to read this first book. And I think this is where we're going to get into some repeat territory, so forgive me if these are repeats, but they are ones that I'm hoping to get to in November because I wasn't able to get to them in October. So first up we have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Again, it's a chunker. I don't mind me a chunky book, but I will have another chunky book I'm working through in November, so it'll be interesting to see how I feel about getting to this one. I might even start reading it at the end of the Love in the Night readathon if I end up finishing everything else before that, because it is vampires. I believe I was told it was vampires. Then I've got Love in the Wild by Emma Castle. This is a Tarzan retelling, and I've heard amazing things. I just want to read it, and I'm thriving on even the idea of a Tarzan retelling, and he's very handsome to look at. Then we've got The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. It's based on The Princess Bride. I love things based on The Princess Bride because I love The Princess Bride, and I just have been meaning to get to this since it came out. I got it on release day, and I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I feel ashamed, and so I want to get to it. Another one I want to get to this month is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Now, I do know that there are some problems with this book in some of the representation. Naomi Novik has gone. She has corrected this, and the second printing should have those corrections. She didn't have enough sensitivity readers read it before it went to a publish, and so that is being corrected in the actual text by the author because they didn't realize how offensive they were, and they want to fix that because they don't want to be that way. And so I admire Naomi for that. I'm still going to read this because I do own it, and it sounds interesting enough, but I will just pay attention to that part and know that that is going to be changed. In time, I might pick up a second printing copy so that I have the corrected copy, but for now I'm going to read the copy that I have. Next is one that's been on my shelf for a long time, and that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. And I know this is like a witch and a witch hunter having a romance, so it's very enemies to lovers. It's YA or new adult. I can't remember which. But I know a lot of my friends really love the series, so I really want to give it a try and finally get to this. And then we have Kiki's Delivery Service. I just need some fluff sometimes, and so I think Kiki will be a good fit for that. And then last but not least, I really want to get to Shadow Black by Sebastian de Castell. I really loved the first book in the series, and for whatever reason, I keep not picking this up. So if I do not pick it up in November, I'm probably just going to unhaul it and unhaul the first one, because at that point, I probably won't have enough interest to ever read it. So hold me accountable, y'all, because I really loved the first book. The magic system was so interesting that I really think I'm going to keep enjoying it as it goes along. So friends, as you can see, that's a crap ton of books. I have been reading a lot lately, but some of these are big and chunky, so I don't know how it's going to go. But I'm definitely looking forward to my journey in the month of November with reading. Let me know in the comments down below what you plan on reading. I will pick out a manga series to reread as well. I usually do that every month. My rereads are finishing up the Stormlight Archive to get into Rhythm of War, so I'm still working on those. I've been loving my rereads this year. If you have not been rereading your collection, you probably should. And yeah, I think that's all I need to say today. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.